old broken gate.
Yeah,
There's a fire hydrant at the very top. About 2 months ago, we at a fire practice, we decided to use our shoveling system, put our bladder down at the bottom of the hill, hike hose up to the top to see how fast it would take if there was a fire up in
Yeah.
one of the upper houses. It worked, but we'd be saving, trying to save a couple of houses with the vegetation ending up there. Things would have spread pretty quickly. With the hydrant at the very top of that hill already, we could easily get to that and work down, which was a whole lot faster than the way we were doing it, just shoveling water.
right.
So,
And it seems to me, with my memory, that there's a whole bunch of issues about that gate, including, would everybody want to get through it again? Would it be opening up a can of worms? I don't know.
well, we're
It
not
gets
even asking to
vandalized.
open the hill, we're asking just to have a gate, a proper gate there that we can access in an emergency. I don't think the road should be open unless they're gonna actually pave it or seal coat it or something.
Right,
Because it is extremely dangerous, I would think. So.
okay. Jen, did you have something to say?
Kathy does.
Kathy?
I'm dying to know what.
I just don't, I mean, you're the fire chief, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Bob.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah.
Because
I just, like, you need the emergency access.
You're identifying a risk,
Yeah, we
and
just,
what we're seeing
do
is
it.
a wildfire risk. Jen?
it's also, while you're talking to Bob, for evacuation purposes, that is a way of not having a terminating road, which has been identified in our previous HRVA as a vulnerability. It will again be identified. Here's a terminating road we can fix or do something about, and we've intentionally blocked it off permanently, so.
Yeah, everything was fine as when they had the gate, but then people kept taking the gate down.
I think the strength of the gate could be improved, but.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Normally it's like
there's a
the
lot of
blocks,
history
the blocks
there.
just aren't
Yeah.
movable.
you know,
in an
but for
emergency.
me, the driver here is, the fire chief indicates
It has-
that needs to access through.
safe-
So we
safety-
may end
it's a
up
safety
dealing,
issue.
yeah, we may
Yeah.
end up dealing with neighbors complaining again, if people can get by there, we'll deal with that. But to me, the number one priority is we
Get
need
those
to,
blocks into there.
Yeah, you can get, there's lots of gates you can get that
Yeah.
are, you can't get up there with a pair of bolt cutters and cut it off. Like the forestry roads have all,
so I'll need you to do some investigation of what kind of gate you would like up there, but you and I can meet with Bob, we'll tell Bob this is what's gonna happen.
I'm standing behind you then.
I know there's been a bunch of issues, and if this committee can help with any of that, let us know, because we've got a
Yeah.
workshop planned for at least October.
Yeah, it may come back,
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
because it's, there's no gate, having lived up in that area.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is going around the sides, when people take their vehicles and they go around the sides. And unless we wanna put up a chain link fence with barbed wire, we're gonna continue to have that issue.
Well, the
Electrified.
lock
But-
blocks could address that problem. by
People were
being
moving the
on
lock
side.
blocks
Oh,
out,
right.
they were bringing machines up and moving the lock blocks out. But if that's one of the negative side effects of putting a gate back in, so be it.
I just
It's-
wanna
Why
bring
don't
up
we just
one
open it
thing,
up?
is now there's an athletic park up there with an active bunch who want to make changes up there, so that might be part of the thinking.
Mhm.
I would love to have that road open.
Yeah, wouldn't that be
I would
nice?
not.
No, I know,
Your
that's
backyard.
the
But as
problem,
someone
that's
whose house
exactly
is
right.
at a higher risk of fire, thank you for doing.
Where the
think
road should
something-
actually be opened up is right up Willie's Way and into, onto,
I think,
Oh, yeah,
I think this is way beyond our ability at this committee, but what we've heard is our fire chief has identified a risk, and I think we should just support
Here.
him working with staff. And thank you for bringing that up, but let's move on, and you can just handle it, okay?
just handle it.
All right. We don't even have to make a motion about that.
No.
No.
No, okay, great. Thank you
Action
for-
item.
Thank you for
So I
bringing it
can
up,
remember.
yeah. 6.5, warming and cooling center.
I just want to make sure it's on the radar in preparation for the winter. If it's going to be as difficult a winter as we had last year, there were some impromptu warming centers in the Cove. And if in fact it is the municipality's responsibility, maybe we could plan ahead and figure out what we could do. The library last winter did express that they would be prepared. It is a municipal building, but the
Yeah,
discussion
cool
would need
comments.
to happen in advance.
Is it, Arthur, something we can add to this workshop for more discussion, or have some ideas in the meantime? But the last thing I want to do is, after the fact, like we were kind of back and forth last year, scrambling because and there was really nothing we could do at the time. So I'm 100% with Maureen on this, if we can get some sort of plan organized where,
A preparedness.
yeah.
Jen?
What's the purpose of the warming center?
If
So
people-
I'm on the right page. For homeless
people-
individuals or people who have houses that are, who's the warming
I
center
think it
for?
could be both.
It could be both. I mean, you can imagine people arriving on the island and not being able to get home and not having somebody nearby that they could stay with.
So it would be opened in emergency situations and we'd have to have, like I know North Van has, if the temperature's below
Yes,
this, then,
Exactly.
Yeah.
so we would have something.
Because I wonder if it would fit into a, what do you call them, would it be an emergency situation? Like, I'm wondering, is this something we could invite the library to come and talk to us about?
No, I actually don't think so. I think that it would come from us, and we would say, under certain circumstances, we would make use of this building, this building, this building.
Other
Because-
municipalities certainly do that.
Yeah, okay, because
Yeah.
this, otherwise, this sounds like these centers that, well, I forget the name.
Oh, reception
But-
centers?
Reception center, yeah. Go ahead.
Is this just in the daytime or we'd be operating this warming center overnight as well?
It's really up to us, I think, to figure out what they would be. And we did some research last fall. I've got some information that I could forward to you.
think you did at the time.
And I remember there was a question of people missing that last ferry, or the last ferry was canceled or something, and stuck on the island.
Yes, that's right.
As well as some individuals who were living in a rough state and might have been needing.
Definitely during that really cold winter.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing already is we have more defined homelessness this year, like I think 3 different examples.
Okay.
So if we face a cold winter like we did, and I think we do have, having just finished reading the core grant policy, you know, this is a service that is typically delivered by a municipality.
Okay.
And it was just a horrible feeling last year not being prepared in any way.
Well, and I don't think there is another committee that's better prepared for this. I mean, as chair, I'm
Yeah.
going, is this in our terms of reference to Norway?
I think it is.
And so that's great. And because it wasn't on the agenda, I didn't have a chance to look and check all that stuff. So, can this be something, Jen, that you and Maureen could look at? Because I know you were involved in that last year.
Is there
What do you wanna
something
do?
specific I should bring back to the committee?
Yeah.
What question are we trying to answer?
I think what we're trying to answer
Do you want
is,
me to do?
if we have a really cold winter, or if the temperature drops below a certain amount, what do we
Criteria,
do?
I could do
Yeah.
like
Criteria.
and
a
where?
framework for like an extreme weather response plan. So it would just be kind of an outline, here's what I think should be in it, all the issues we should discuss.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't it be at City Hall?
Yeah,
Well, that's a question that we should look at.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I think setting up, you said the criteria, that's what we need, is the temperature goes below a certain you know, it's all that, and I think we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think it's a policy that we need to develop, a council policy. And it would be, there's two, you kind of nailed it, there's 2 different circumstances. There's when the temperature goes cold and we have people who are living in dire situations anyways. The second is, and I remember Brian Biddlecombe always saying this over the years, is there are so many homes that have been built in the last 10, 15 years that don't have a secondary source of heat. They rely on electric heat. So if we have another situation where we're a week without power and it gets cold and we don't know what's happening with our climate, then we have to be prepared to offer those. So there are 2 different but parallel processes, I think.
Or the ferry breaks down and people are stranded here.
Yes, exactly.
And they're not prepared.
So it's I think, identifying the scenarios and then how do we deal with those different scenarios?
Maybe if they're available.
I think
yeah.
that's really helpful, because what we've identified here is the main, we're only dealing with cooling, with warming at this point, not cooling centers, although this could lead to that if needed in the future. When the temperature gets below how many degrees, and the 3 audiences we need to think about are people living in cars or little trailers or homeless people, people with no shelter.
Yeah,
The people at risk of, in dangerous situations when the weather gets down that way because of their lifestyle, stranded ferry passengers, and potentially people in ordinary residents. right?
whose responsibility is it to look after stranded ferry passengers?
ESS covers stranded travelers, so that would activate we would activate well, depending on the number of people, activate
Yeah.
ESS. So
Yeah.
they're actually, I don't think even need to be addressed in this plan because there's already something to deal with them.
Okay.
That's my personal take on it.
Okay,
But definitely homeless people and
Yeah,
There's some correspondence that,
I'm looking at
in
it.
January,
Yeah, January 26th.
yeah,
January 4th.
and then again on the 18th, Paolo had done some
Yeah.
research and identified what the responsibilities of the RCMP were. And it comes down to here on Bowen, we would escort people to the nearest available shelter. At this point, it's the Lookout Shelter in North Vancouver, which, in principle is great, but in practice,
doesn't work for us.
doesn't work, yeah,
especially after the ferry stops running.
yeah.
And I have some research that Christine had done as well that she passed on to me.
Christine,
Walker.
oh yeah,
So my intent in bringing this up was just to flag it now so that we're ready
okay.
when and if we have.
So, that our committee, direct staff, to prepare a, what did you call it?
Framework
A framework extreme weather response plan.
Thank you, but
for
We
future
call it something
discussion.
else.
yeah, for the next meeting if we can.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, which will be in 6 months, right, the way we do things.
Oh, right, because no,
Although, we could call a separate meeting if the weather.
Well, we should have something in place before this winter.
So if we add it to maybe our workshop in November.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or,
Okay.
or perhaps if Jen, when you get it done, you circulate it to the committee and we can kind of hone it over email and then bring it forward to that.
yeah, or we can refer it to the management committee, right? I mean, the point is that this committee gives directions to Jen, right?
Yeah, but I'd be careful with the management committee in that this committee deals with policy.
Yeah.
And to me, this is a policy
Okay.
issue. So I don't see it residing or even being discussed at the committee level unless you need power, like,
I'm still-
what I would do
Okay,
is have
I'm
that framework
agree
of
there,
policy
yeah.
developed at this level, bring it to the management committee for comment and for
Comment,
review.
yeah, okay.
Because you've got the RCMP there, you've got the school there,
Okay,
but I drive it from here.
perfect. And I'm just trying to figure out our role, that's helpful. Can you put the word policy into the motion? Like at the very end, you could say the word
framework policy.
Yeah, so that it's identified as a policy. And so, because we deal at policy level, I think that's really helpful. And what do we have?
That the executive committee directs staff to prepare a framework policy for an extreme weather response plan and circulate it to the committee for feedback.
I would suggest a framework for a future policy.
Framework for a future.
Right.
Good, yeah, because there's more
So
to
we
the
don't have to
policy.
go back.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Do I have a motion? Thank you, Gary. Seconded Maureen. Any more discussion? Call question. All in favor, I mean. Thank you. Very good. And we're only
Awesome.
like 7 minutes over. Thank you, everybody. Very good.
fabulous. This is fabulous.
Are you coming? You're good.
What are you going to?
There's an emergency social services team meeting